Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Imagine waking up late for work, rushing out the door with a cup of coffee in hand before pre-ordering breakfast through a delivery app. By the end of this tiring day, you have likely interacted with a various range of convenience services, perhaps even all of them. They help make our lives easier, faster, and more manageable. But have you ever stopped to think about our convenience's cost to others? Who pays the real price? Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about the costs of convenience, specifically within the fast fashion, food and beverages, e-commerce and online retail, and ride-sharing and instant transportation industries. Convenience services have become the cornerstone of modern life. It's become the way we navigate and manage busy schedules and constant daily demands. Nonetheless, behind every shiny package and wrapping, the endless aisles of inexpensive goods, and the efficiency of instant deliveries lies a dreadful truth. Because convenience often obscures a dark reality. One thing these services have in common is their exploitation of workers and their impairment on our environment. Firstly, let's address the pressing issue of worker exploitation, the ones that make our demands a possibility, the human backbones of our convenience culture. Behind every low-cost t-shirt or instant shipping promises are overworked employees, earning shockingly low wages. In factories across developing countries, laborers toil and endure long hours with minimal pay. Many of these workers are often placed to work in unsafe conditions in factories or warehouses that have poor ventilation, fire hazards, and unsafe structures for shifts longer than 14 hours with little to no overtime pay. This not only puts their lives at risk, but while they're doing this, they earn extremely low wages, ones that cannot subside living. Not to mention, most of these workers are children or were forced into labor, especially within the fast fashion industry, where cotton farming and textile production relies on child labor and forced labor to cut costs. Picture this. These workers are abused with no necessary breaks, leading to burnout and physical strain. And their every move is under surveillance, increasing their stress. With these growing health issues caused by their jobs, they have no employment benefits like healthcare insurance to help them get the treatment they need. And with the growing medicinal inflation, they often don't get the treatment they need because they simply can't afford it. Now, let's talk about the environmental costs of convenience. That 10 dirham shirt may look like a bargain, but were you aware it's part of an industry that's the second largest polluter in the world? Mass amounts of water, chemicals, and energy were used to produce that shirt, and it ends up in landfills after a few wears. For example, infamous fast fashion retailers often make their clothing out of toxic chemicals like phthalate-based plasticizers, formaldehyde, and dioxane. While washing those clothes, they release microplastics in washing machines, which end up in our waterways, which endangers humans' health due to the toxic and carcinogenic chemicals released. Do you think these products are easily disposed due to their low price and your ability to instantly replace them? Well, the truth is, when disposed of, they end up in landfills like the Chile's Atacama Desert, the driest desert in the world, which is now turning into one giant landfill full of new and old discarded clothing. In fact, more than 66,000 tons of clothes reside in the massive landfill, which is now visible from space. Similarly, single-use plastics contribute to the 300 million tons of plastic we produce every year, which end up in our oceans, endangering aquatic species and poisoning ocean water, as well as the carbon emissions emitted from the factories of fast fashion, the kitchens of fast food industries, the shipments of online shopping, and the vehicles of ride sharing. Those CO2 emissions contribute to greenhouse gases, which causes global temperatures to rise, which by now you have come to know as global warming. Global warming causes temperatures in countries to rise during the summer and drop during the winter, creating an imbalance in the ecosystem and unbearable living conditions for living organisms. An example of this imbalance is the discovery of grass in Antarctica, which indicates rising temperatures and creates a threat to native Antarctic species. Global warming also causes rising sea levels. All of this happens because glaciers and ice sheets are melting worldwide, adding more water to oceans. Additionally, as the water warms, its volume expands. All this causes flood hazards in coastal areas and jeopardizes the infrastructure required for area companies and local jobs. Rising sea levels threatens a limitless list of infrastructure like roads, bridges, subways, water supplies, oil and gas wells, sewage treatment facilities, landfills, power plants, and more. It is a convenience-driven consumption that is dissipating and squandering our planet's resources, pushing ecosystems past their limits, and fueling drastic climate changes. Now, you might think you're obliged to stop using these convenience services because of their negatives. But here's the catch. Convenience isn't inherently bad. It is a prospect that allows us to conjure jobs, education, and family matters. It marginalizes communities to access affordable goods. The real issue is the systems supporting these services and the burden that has shifted on the most vulnerable, future generations, low-wage workers, and the planet. So what do we do now? Should we all stop using convenience services? Many lives will be disturbed, whether it's the workers or you, the consumer. The least we can do is do our role in creating a more responsible and sustainable future. Supporting more ethical brands and reducing single-use plastic are ways that you can contribute to the future of mankind. Another thing you can do is being aware of the services and products you can use by asking yourself 3 questions. Where did this product come from? Who made it? And what happens when I'm done with it? Now you can make a proper judgment whether or not that service or product is valuable to you. Another thing we can do is take action. It's easier said than done. But with small changes come bigger ones. We also need accountability from governments and corporations. Convenience should not come at the cost of human dignity and environmental health. As life passes on and we get caught in its rhythm, lest we forget that there are always consequences to our actions that extend beyond what our eyes can see. Everything counts. Every purchase, every click, and every decision. Together we can create a more responsible. Together we can work to pay the true cost of convenience, not bypassing the buck, rather taking responsibility ourselves. And as the great theoretical physicist Albert Einstein once said, the world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Thank you.